great job, Jared, Dr. ABRAMIAN, on doing that work. So my story, I got to tell the story about Jimmy because this, you know, I haven't done a makeover since 2007, 2008, and we opened a new office. A partner and I, actually, he worked in my office for a couple of years, and he moved to Austin, so we opened a practice together. I'm his partner there, and I said, you know what, we need to do something up here like we did in Lake City and do a makeover. And so we started getting the letters, and just to give you guys an idea of how that works is we ask family members, we ask kids, we ask coworkers, whoever it is that can write a story about the person that they want to nominate for the makeover. And then we basically go from the letters. I think we had 20-something candidates in Austin, and we narrowed that all the way down to 8, and then we narrowed it down to 4. So the final 4, I wanted to be there for in order to kind of make that selection. And we ended up getting it down to 2, and it was Jimmy and another gentleman that we ended up doing him in Austin. And I just, for whatever reason, I just, because I never intended to really do it here in my office. And there was just something about Jimmy, I felt like, you know, reading the stories, his kids' stories too, and just thinking, you know, he really deserves this as well. So I asked him, I said, do you mind, I really want to do your makeover. Do you mind if, can you make the drive from Austin to Lake City? And he said, well, guess what? I work a lot in Clear Lake. And I said, well, it's meant to be, you know. And so he's been fantastic, like Jared, Dr. ABRAMIAN said. He's just been so grateful every step of the way, and just a great human being. You know, I've watched him pretty much through his change, and I've seen it every single time, even with the 4 that we did in the past. And I watch how they won't smile. Typically there's a beard, or there's no lipstick on the teeth if it's women, and as soon as you complete them, the big beard or the big mustache disappears and the red lipstick goes on, and all of a sudden they feel, you know, they feel good about themselves, and it's just it's such a rewarding thing for me. And I know for the team too. I mean, we get to do this a lot in my office, and we get to see people, you know, in tears literally just when we deliver temporaries and things like that. So, but anyway, so we started the makeover on Jimmy, but I want to share a couple of letters, and I know he's going to share one as well. But one of the big ones that I wanted to kind of read that we got is, so this is at age 46, Jimmy is strong as his teeth are weak. It says, a natural athlete, Jimmy recently completed the 2017 Austin Marathon, but finds his true happy place on a mountain bike, always looking for a new hill, country hill, or to conquer or to break at breakneck speed. This is what really kind of got me. Jimmy's teeth have an extraordinarily negative impact on his career. Consistently in the spotlight, public speaking plays a key role in the process of safety in the safety world. Though he is vibrant, smart, funny, and engaging, the insecurity of his failing teeth hold Jimmy back from expressing himself fully and confidently. Always considering his family first, Jimmy has put his children through orthodontics dental needs before his own. Behind those smiling eyes, he is the guy who volunteers in the community, always ready to lend a hand, cook a meal. We had one of those actually, made gumbo for my office, and it was amazing. He even took a picture while he was drinking a Lone Star Light, I think, and sent it to me, so we were all ready for the meal the next day. And just offer a kind word. Said Jimmy is a giver, and if I could help Jimmy get back just a little bit of what he has given to others, I would consider it the best thing I've ever done. So, you know, that within itself, I mean, that was a slam dunk after I read that. So anyway, this is Jimmy before we got started. As you can see, he's got multiple teeth that's you know, got some issues. I guess I'm lucky I got him to smile to be able to get this picture. But we did, you know, it took us 14 months to finish him, and it you know, it was a long haul, but Jimmy just every day came in with, you know, just ready to go. You know, he was so accepting of everything that we did, really trusted us through the whole process. So, but I think we're just about to bring Jimmy in. So let's meet our small makeover, Jimmy Miller. I think we got a little music to play. So if we can get the music up, this is actually the song he chose to walk in. I was going to give him ZZ Top, Sharp Dressed Man, but he chose this one for himself. So he's going to. So I've been, let's listen to music a little bit. I think it's, what is this? Mouse. Keep on smiling. So Luke's the cameraman. He's been responsible for getting all these pictures for us. If you like smiling and like take pictures, he'll grab one of you later on. Definitely want to get a picture of you and your family and everything. Sure. This is all Jimmy's family up here in the front. So happy you guys can come and share this with him. So without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Jimmy here for a little bit, and I'm going to hang out up here. Sound good?
Well, you know, we didn't really talk about what was going to be said, what the format of tonight was going to be. One thing I do want to say more than anything else is the gratitude and the thanks, and everything I feel for Dr. TIEKEN. You know, the generosity is kind of overwhelming for me, for sure. He said one thing yesterday. He said, start thinking about maybe the emotions that you went through during this process, and you know, the emotions started way back. You know, this process started back in April of 2017. I was sitting in the chair in front of Alicia on November 2nd of 2017, so several months. So the emotional roller coaster kind of went up and down and up and down. And I'm one of those glass half full kind of guys, so I never wanted to get my hopes up too high, but I was never really bummed out and worried that maybe it wouldn't be me, right? Always optimistic for sure. And by the time I got down to see Dr. T that day and he told me it's me, and I was really excited, I was just numb. I wasn't a blubbering, crying idiot. I wasn't anything. I was just really numb. And I said, that's not what I expected this to be like. And you know, we spent our time together. I get in the car, and I get to the red light at Dr. T's office, and I turn left, and I get about 5 feet down the road, and I just fall apart. And I become that blubbering, blabbering, crybaby idiot that I couldn't stop either. So I had to get back to pick up my kids from school 3 hours away, so I couldn't pull over. So I'm cruising, I get to I-10 finally, and I chill out. I'm like, whew. All right, now I can appreciate and enjoy this. So I pick up the phone really fast, and I call my girlfriend. She was working that day, and she just got off, so she's really excited. Then I call my folks, I call my mom and dad, Marilyn, JW, and thank y'all very much for being here again. My kids were at school, so I couldn't tell them. So I texted them, and they're all texting back, and all their friends are taking selfies, and they're like, all the stuff the kids do, so they're all kind of excited. Then I talked to my sister-in-law, Tina. Tina is the sweetest, most thoughtful, kind, gentle person I've ever met, and she's been so cool and helpful, and encouraging throughout this whole entire process. So that's been really cool too. I brought my friend here, Mr. Brendan Payton. I think every person in this room needs to have a Brendan Payton in their life. Aww. Not just because he's a great friend and he always will do anything for him, but everyone needs that brutally honest jerk of a friend who will always tell you what you need to hear, whether you want to hear it or not. So that summer of 2017, I was in a bad place. I was going through a divorce, and it wasn't very easy. And I had this all going on too. And he pulled me to the side. And he said, "Dude, you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta take care of your health so you can take care of your children." And hearing it is one thing. You know, thinking it to yourself is one thing. But having your best friend saying, "Take care of you," that was a big, big thing. So that's when I kind of went through the process thinking, well, what can I do to get myself out of this situation I'm in right now? And lo and behold, fate, the will of God, and the generosity of this man here got me to where I am now. So it's just been really an amazing journey. So that's kind of the emotional piece I had. I mean, once he told me and I got through that day, I was good to go. I couldn't wait to go see. Is Dr. ABRAMIAN here?
Yes.
I couldn't wait to go see that guy. Because the emotional piece of dealing with the self-conscious of a really, really horrible crackhead looking smile was hard enough, but the constant pain every day was the worst part. It was an everyday thing. It wasn't once in a while. It was every day. It was every night I would lay down and go to sleep. I'd pop up sometimes at night because my head hurt so bad. And that day that I sat in his chair, I've been in his chair maybe 3 minutes. I gave him a little timeout signal. And he said, "Are you hurting?" I'm like, "No, I'm not hurting." I said, "But will you please remove this right here?" And he said, "Bubba, I took care of that the first 30 seconds in." And you know what? This big wave of comfort and relaxation hit me, and I laid there for 4 hours and let him beat up on me. And it didn't bother me at all because that was the thing that bothered me so much every day from a pain perspective. So, dude, thank you. I owe you everything. And I can never repay the generosity for you either. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I saw a quote on the Facebook the other day, right? Because the Facebook's an important thing. So I wrote this quote down because it's so true. It's something I haven't thought about very much during this process. But the quote is, when you're confident in yourself, you're more generous to everyone. And I'm a really, really self-confident person. You know, Josh Carlson back here, I work with Josh, and he and I are really similar. So if someone says, you know, give me one word to describe Jimmy professionally, it would be passionate, because I'm a passionate guy. Josh there has that too. You know, the one thing about Josh, he has this gigantic booming presence on the stage. And I don't normally have that. The biggest reason I was so self-conscious about this, so I talk really fast. Sometimes I would lie to myself and say I'm talking fast because I'm excited, which kind of is true. So it's mostly because if you talk fast, you don't open your mouth very much. And if you don't enunciate your words properly, you never have to show people what's going on here. And I'm not going to say I'm jealous or envious of Josh, because every person in this room, if you have some success in your life, I am tickled shitless for you. I really am. I'm not an envious or jealous person. But I always respected that from Josh. He has this toothy grin that goes from the back of this ear to the back of that ear. And I was like, gosh, that's the coolest thing ever. So I don't quite have that. It's not quite as wide as yours, dude, but I'm there now. So now I got to work on my big booming stage presence for sure. But yeah, the generosity thing. I mean, I always volunteered. I always helped people out, whether it was helping at church, whether it's helping a friend move, helping Brenda build a deck, whatever. It's always something. But the last 3 or 4 years, I didn't volunteer for those things as often, because the more of that I did, the more I was face to face with people, and the more self-conscious I was, even with my friends and my family. So I'm so happy to be able to share that generosity again and get back to the world that I enjoy the most. And this is going to be a huge thing, not just professionally, but personally and everything else. So thank you, Dr. T. Is Lori here? I haven't met Lori yet.
Yes.
Hello, Ms. Lori.
Hi.
Thanks for the comments and the kind words and everything. So I should thank you as much as him. I know this is your business, and I know that you know, every nickel you take out and give to me is a nickel you're not putting in your own pocket. So thank you very much, and thank you very much too. Not just the generosity of you and what you've done, but the care I've gotten from your team has been the most amazing thing ever. I came in today and they picked up the mic and they said, "Penny Felicia." I didn't realize Penny Felicia was one person. But Miss Felicia here and Miss Penny, wherever she is back there, you guys are great. I had so much, even coming to your dentist, I didn't even want to show my dentist how bad this was. It was really bad, and so having to open up that part of me to you girls all the time, thank y'all very much for being so caring, so kind, and always making me feel comfortable for sure. You know, I didn't tell you this, Dr. T, but about 3.5 years ago, I was running one morning before daylight, and I slipped in a creek by my house. And I went underwater and sucked up some water in my nose and did what I normally do, and I finished the run. I get ready for work, go to work. About a week later, I started feeling really, really horrible. And on the way home, I had a mini seizure, so they brought me in the hospital and kept me overnight and did all these tests. And one of the tests, of course, they want to do is for a stroke. So I'm in the chair, and Brenda's wife is in there, and two of our other friends were in the room. So the nurse said, "You need to smile for me to make sure I don't have any stroke thing going on." So I smiled. They're like, "No, smile." And I was like, they're like, "No, with your teeth." And I went, and she said, "It's okay, you're amongst friends." And I shook my head, and I finally did. And even that, I mean, I was barely in a conscious state, and that was such a hard thing for me. So your wife, Tracy's actually seeing this, and you haven't seen that until today. So to tell her she doesn't have to see it anymore, for sure. But is this like a prize I got, or is this something you'd like me to read, Dr. T?
I think that's a letter from your kids.
Oh.
That's cool. So, throughout this process, I saw this contest. I submitted an essay, and I texted it to my daughter. So my daughter's the sweetest little 13-year-old thing at the time. Now she's 15, but she's just sweet. She's a daddy's girl. So I figured if there was anything that was going to tug someone's heartstrings, it'd be my daughter, because I'm not a heartstring tugging kind of guy when I wrote mine. So I sent it to her, and then her mom, my ex-wife, said, "Well, I'm going to write one too." Cool, because I had my girlfriend wrote one too, and that's a little awkward, but that's cool. She did that for me, so I really appreciate that for sure. And then my eldest son wrote one too, and then my middle son was really mad because he was at work that day and didn't know. So he misses all kinds of things. So about a month later, he's like, "I didn't know that. Y'all wrote an essay. I didn't know anything about this." So I haven't seen this. The only essay I've seen is the one that I submitted and the one that my girlfriend did. So I'm going to read this. And I told you, Carol, yesterday, don't make me cry. Jimmy, our dad, has had problems with his teeth ever since he was a child. We believe that our daddy deserves this treatment because it will positively affect his life and make him want to smile more. My daughter always, by the way, said, "Dad, smile with your teeth." You don't really want me to smile with my teeth, but anyway, that was her. Jimmy's dental health started to decline at a young age due to him giving some tetracycline. This causes protective enamel to break down. Recently, his teeth began to chip and fall apart. I didn't eat pizza for a year, by the way. I went to Papa Murphy's Pizza, which I like, by the way. I had no problem with Papa Murphy's Pizza. And they always had samples, so I grabbed a piece and I took a bite, and this front tooth just broke off just from biting down on it. So I swore off pizza for a whole year. I had pizza last week for the first time in a long time. It was actually pretty great. So, darn pizza. Had to be the pizza's fault. As his children, we would love to see our daddy smile without being embarrassed. Our dad works at Schneider Electric, where he speaks in front of large groups all the time. He's often embarrassed to talk in front of other people or crowds due to his embarrassment. He avoids social settings and sometimes speaks with his hands in front of his mouth, which I've done a lot through the years. Jimmy's had lots of dental work done, but can't afford the proper work that he needs. He has 3 teenage children, Alex, a swimmer, Zachary, a singer, and Abigail, a competitive dancer. These activities are not very cheap and causes him not to be able to afford the proper dental work he needs. Jimmy's whole family loves him very much and hopes that this letter will help him achieve his goal of having the perfect smile. We love you, Daddy.
Go girl! Go girl!
And I really think throughout this process that Dr. T has given me the perfect smile. I said last week, it amazes me that you can build this from nothing. And you saw that before picture, so it's kind of like building a house with no frame. How do you frame up a house when you don't even have a foundation? That was how I felt you were doing this process, and it's amazing seeing the results of all that work. It blows me away. I didn't think it was even possible. So if you're looking for an evangelist, if you're looking for a walking billboard, I'm your guy. I can't. As far as testimonials go, everybody talks about there's testimonials at church, there's testimonials at work. People want a what do they call that, Josh, when a customer writes you a story? A customer testimonial, right? People ask for those all the time. You know, I've told this story so much. I know some Baptist friends who got saved and they want to tell a story about being saved 78 times. I've told the story this 740 times. And it's the most amazing life experience I could ever imagine. So thank you very, very much. I can never express my gratitude to you, but I appreciate you.
So now you know why I chose him. Pretty easy. I was sharing earlier that we had picked somebody for Austin, but I had to do this makeover for you. So let's have fun. Let's celebrate Jimmy. Got plenty of food. You know, yeah, just have fun. Now on the table, if anybody's interested in some dental work, there's some cards and stuff from Dr. ABRAMIAN and for myself. We're offering some like reveal specials tonight too for Clear Correct. If you want to straighten your teeth, there's some different things back there. And my team is here, so if you have any dental questions, you know, certainly they'd be more than happy to answer them for you. But it's been a great night. It's been a great ride. I expect to see Jimmy every 6 months for the rest of his life to take care of those teeth. So anyway, so happy to have all y'all here. I'm glad y'all came for this really awesome reveal. So, all right, have fun.